Your Steve Jones Show podcast will start shortly. The Steve Jones Show podcast is sponsored by Brewers Outlet, your beverage supermarket on Reagan Street in Sunbury. Sports talk where your voice counts. This is the Steve Jones Show on News Radio 1070 WKOK. Now from the Sunbury Motors Studio, here's Steve Jones.
Today's show brought to you by Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street in Sunbury, the beverage supermarket. Imports, domestics, microbrews, the best selection of beer anywhere. Wine coolers, water, soft drinks, snacks, lots of snacks. They roast their peanuts fresh and hot every day. 6 great flavors of slushies and the pickle bar, led by the barrels and the dills, indeed second to none. All at Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street in Sunbury, the beverage supermarket. And we're in the Sunbury Motors Studio. Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury. Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15, Hummels Wharf, and online at sunburymotors.com. Kelly Mazzante in a moment, but first our play-by-play call of the day. The Tampa Bay Lightning and the Garden strike late.
Stamkos sends it in behind the net. Kucherov poked it back to Stamkos. Across it comes for Sergachev. Toward the net, he scores! Again! From just inside the blue line. 2-1 Lightning with 1:50 to go.
Empty netter after that, and the Lightning took Game 5 at Madison Square Garden 3-1. Now lead the series 3-2, going back to Amalie Arena in Tampa for Game 6, which is tomorrow night. Also, the Celtics and Warriors play tonight. By the way, Game 3 drew 11.5 million. It is the now it's higher viewed than 20 and 21, but for Game 3, the worst since 2007, when the Spurs were in it. That's because guys like Matt are boycotting.
Yeah, a little bit bitter right now.
On every front. All right, so with that, we bring in the outstanding Kelly Mazzante. Kelly, thanks so much for your time today. Really appreciate it, and congratulations on a well-deserved honor.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's been a good couple of days, so I'm excited.
Yeah, it has been a good couple of days. We'll start with the Hall of Fame part of it, the Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame. October 30th, the induction will take place at Reading. Who told you, and what was your response when you found out?
Well, ironically enough, I had just flown from Dallas to Atlantic City, and I was recruiting. So, of course, I was on court 27, watching AAU basketball. I thought that was pretty ironic. But I had a couple different people reach out. It's pretty remarkable. I felt really excited. I've been able to share it with my family, and, I've been getting a lot of people reaching out. So it's definitely a collection of a lot of people that have been in my life, teammates, coaches, family, so it's been exciting.
What does it not only mean just for you, but also the recognition of women's basketball, that someone like you had that kind of impact, and the sport itself is also being recognized?
Yeah, I think so many people for so many years have fought, for women's sports, even, Renee and, Lady Lion basketball. So, I think women's basketball is in a great place. And so to be recognized, I've really had a good appreciation for it. I've thought a lot about my playing career over the last couple of weeks. So to really think about it, to what I was able to do, individually, but collectively on the different teams I've been on, it's pretty remarkable if you think about it.
And also finding out that to be an associate head coach, what does that mean to you in your growth in the profession?
I think it's that's a key word, growth. I'm getting ready to start my ninth season overall, which is pretty incredible. It goes so fast, and I just think we have a really good thing going at Bucknell. I appreciate Coach Woodruff, and our athletic department in that confidence to, give me that title. So I'm just, I'm growing, like you said, each and every year, taking it a year at a time, but coaching is definitely my passion, and I absolutely love it. So it's been exciting.
What is it about coaching that makes you passionate?
Well, it's just such a different side from when I was playing. I just, going through a collegiate career and then a professional career, a lot of it's instinctual, and you're just doing what you do. So being able to learn the other side of it, what goes into the coaching side, and really helping the student athletes navigate their 4 years in college. I was so blessed to have had such a great experience at Penn State. So being able to help them, in their one collegiate experience has really been rewarding.
All right, so anybody who goes along and tries to work in a profession, there'll be mentors along the way, and you'll start then parroting some things that were said to you that came directly from them, and you probably laugh when it happens. Who would be the influences on coaching style, even though you have to be you, okay, because the best you is you?
Sure.
Who are the influences as to how you coach, and why did they influence you in that direction?
Well, I think first and foremost, Rini, she used to always say, to whom much is given, much is expected.
Yes.
And, that has resonated. I don't think sometimes we realize as Division I student athletes the amount of effort and time on the coaching side of it. We're going through it. And so that really hits home. I've had different mentors, not necessarily coaches, just give advice about being the best version of you. Just little things like that, just to keep everything in perspective. And we have great student athletes at Bucknell that really understand it. And so if I can give that type of advice, that's not just for your college experience, but for life, those have kind of resonated with me throughout my career, that I've been able to translate into the coaching side of it as well.
And believe me, you and I could probably talk a long time about Rini, because
all day.
all day, because I broadcast her first game at Penn State.
Her first game?
Yeah, her first game.
Wow.
Carol Waldeman and Annie Troyan with it. Carol Waldeman was the star that night. Annie couldn't play; she'd hurt her knee at Colorado and wasn't able to play yet.
Yeah, she's definitely influential, and I know. I make a lot of references to what I've learned there. Obviously, I have a lot of, different things that I learned in the WNBA overseas, but I feel Penn State was really at the core of creating who I was as a person and now as a coach.
Yeah. You mentioned overseas. I think one of your stops was Russia. Is that true? All right. Now, look, you obviously have a different experience than what, unfortunately, Brittany Griner is going through.
Sure.
Did you have any difficulty at all there, in, out, or once you were in that country? I know the circumstances have dramatically changed, but did you at all?
No. We had, for my own personal experience, which is all I can talk about and speak on, is no issues. You go in, you go out. There's certain rules, and there's things that you fill on the plane, what you have in your bag, vice versa. But no, it's been a really sad story that obviously everyone's following closely. But no, I was fortunate enough to, go to Italy, go to Slovakia, go to Hungary with no issues, and back.
As you watch now the WNBA, and you're immersed obviously in the college game, how much pride do you take in the fact that a lot of groundbreaking was done, and the WNBA seems to be on a path to success right now? How much pride do you take in that?
A lot. I remember thinking, I was getting ready to graduate at Penn State. Is it going to fold? Is the WNBA even going to be there? Are we going to have a season? So for it to be so successful, and now they're talking about expansion, to be a part of that for the 7.5 years. Again, when you're going through it, you don't understand truly what you're just playing basketball. But to look back now and to have had been a part of the Charlotte Sting, and then that folded, and to be a part of the Phoenix Mercury, who have won since I was there another championship. It's going strong. There's a lot of opportunity, and obviously the college athletes now know that, hey, I have a shot at the WNBA. You know, the European basketball is strong, so it's pretty cool to reflect back and know that I was a part of that.
You're also part of what they're doing at Bucknell right now. You reference the record and how well they've done. You reference Coach Woodruff. Along the way, what are a couple of items as a head coach that you have picked up from Coach Woodruff that that are part of your foundation now?
Yeah, I think from day one, he is probably one of the most detail-oriented coaches or people I've ever been around. So just understanding the game on such an intricate level, I've learned so much from him in 3 years, from X's and O's to different game plans to schemes. He's a very, very strong, brilliant basketball mind. So I've learned a lot from him, and the details and what he expects and what we expect as a coaching staff to do things the right way. Definitely will be things that I carry on wherever the job takes me.
Right.
But yeah, I've learned a tremendous amount.
Okay, when Renee and Annie would sit down and you would watch tape video, how different is life now for you on the coaching side as to how you watch video as opposed to how you watch video when you were a player?
I'm going to give Annie Troyan some mad props right now, but I just remember Annie I would literally watch every possession of every game, how they guarded me, how to counter it. So it's very similar. The details, I specifically remember Michigan State always had a really tough zone, and we would watch every possession of every game and try to analyze the defense, where our openings. So there's a lot of similarities. In going through college, you're like, oh, this is a pain in the butt. But I learned a lot. And, Annie and I definitely stay in communication. And it is. It's a lot of little things that go into it. So there's a lot of similarities.
All right, now I'm going to get into Bucknell, obviously.
Okay.
I mean, academics mean a big part, okay, to get into Bucknell. So obviously that does play a role as to how you recruit. I was watching an NFL Network feature on Jimmy Johnson, and he's with Bill Belichick on a boat.
Okay.
And he says, and Jimmy says to him, I have 5 rules. Number 1, above all, the player must be smart. And Belichick goes, oh, God, yeah. When you are recruiting, you're obviously looking for certain basketball skills. What about the intelligence part, and how important is that as to how you recruit somebody?
Well, I don't want to give out our recruiting
yes, the secret
our recruiting
sauce
101, but, we live in a world of hashtags, and, our hashtag, our mantra is TST, and the S is for smart. And that's not book smart. That's not, obviously the academic part of Bucknell. They're going to tell us if the student athlete's smart. But we look for high IQ student athletes. And, can they see the floor? Can they pass? A perfect example is Cecilia Collins, who was on the all-rookie team and second team. It's just an IQ level. And we think if a recruit has a high IQ, that to us is appealing because they understand the game and they'll make other people around them better. So that's one of the things that we really, look at when we're out recruiting.
Well, everyone here at Penn State has always thought of Kelly Mazzante from day one as a Hall of Famer, now officially in Pennsylvania. And on October 30th, she'll be in the Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame in Reading. Congratulations to one of the greats, and always a privilege to talk with you, Kelly.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hopefully we'll talk soon.
We will. Kelly Mazzante, Associate Head Coach for Bucknell Women's Basketball. We will come back with more in a moment. Great to have you with us today. And today's show is brought to you by our good friends at Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street in Sunbury, the beverage supermarket, Imports Domestics Microbrews, the best selection of beer anywhere. Wine coolers, water, soft drinks, snacks. They roast their peanuts fresh and hot every day. 6 great flavors of slushies, and the pickle bar, led by the barrels and the dills, indeed second to none. All at Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street in Sunbury, the beverage supermarket. And we're in the Sunbury Motors studio. Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury. Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15, Hummel's Wharf, and online at sunburymotors.com. We will come back with more in a moment. Great to have you with us today on News Radio 1070 WKOK.
Party time, game time, or just fun time. Doesn't matter what time it is because it's Brewers Outlet time. The beverage supermarket has the area's largest beer selection. Imports, microbrews, ciders, and domestics. Pick from over 100 ice-cold 12-packs and dozens of 24-ounce singles. Soda, snacks, hot sauces, fresh roasted peanuts. Make it one-stop party shopping, and don't forget the pickle bar. So whatever you're celebrating or just doing it up, Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street, Sunbury wants to see you. And thank you for your years of patronage.
Drives that one, hit well. Shohei Ohtani has done it! He's back in the saddle. 2-1 Angels. Incredible.
He still got that look. I wouldn't mess with him right now. There he is. I'm still locked in.
Really a great night for him as Ohtani homered, and not only that, was brilliant on the mound. The Angels stopped their 14-game losing streak. They beat the Red Sox in the 4th and final game of that series, 5-2. And that was off Nick Pivetta, and Pivetta has been pitching really well lately. In fact, Pivetta had 11 strikeouts through 5 last night. But Ohtani got him and then pitched really well, and it's exactly the shot in the arm the Angels needed. And they played without Mike Trout last night. Trout had to miss last night's game. It's not long-term, like some of his other injuries have been of late. It's one thing that's interesting about Trout. He has great numbers the last 3 seasons. No, because he's been hurt and in and out of the lineup and whatever. And of course, we all know that analytics loves him. What's his signature moment?
Get the lingerie on the deck. Call the janitor.
Well, no, I mean, that's a serious question. Like, we can go back and we can look back in the signature moments of a lot of great players along the way. What's the signature moment for a guy like Mookie Betts? What's the signature moment for maybe an Aaron Judge? What's the signature moment for Willie Mays? Or moments of Hank Aaron, or the moments of Mickey Mantle? Or what are the signature moments of Sandy Koufax? What are the signature moments of George Brett? What are the signature moments? You know what I mean? Mike Schmidt. What are the signature moments of Mike Schmidt? What are Trout's? I mean, and again, I'm saying this as somebody who knows he is a great player. He has 324 home runs in his career. He has over 200 stolen bases in his career. He's been in the majors for 12 years now, parts of 12 seasons. So let me ask you, how many times did he hit over 40 home runs? Twice.
Is it twice? Okay. I knew it wasn't
That's
much.
it.
Okay.
Two. How many times did he had more than 100 RBIs?
I'll say 2 or 3 times.
3. Yeah, he's got a lot of walks. He led the league in stolen bases once with 49. He had a 30 home run, 49 stolen base year, which is phenomenal. He's led the league in runs scored 4 times, so that's a big part of analytics, and that's the game, obviously. He is an outstanding defensive player. Great base runner. But what are his signature moments? All the players through time that you look at have a series of signature moments. Derek Jeter. Look at all the signature moments in his career. David Ortiz. You keep going through. What are the signature moments of players that elevate them even more beyond their stats? what are Mike Trout's? And I asked the question with great respect. Because I think it's a fair question. He is a tremendous talent who plays the game hard. He plays the game well. And everybody would tell you he's a great guy. He's great with the fans. He's everything Major League Baseball could hope for. But playing on the West Coast, we don't get to see him that often. And in 12 seasons, what are his signature moments? And the problem is there isn't a single person that can call into the show, I think, and give me one.
Angels have a lot to do with that, though, that they are wasting the prime of his career and have wasted it. And that was who the drop was for.
Right, but where's the 4 home run game? Where's the...
No, you're right.
Where's the game that, when they needed it, it put them into the playoffs? Where, in the playoffs, he hit a home run his first at-bat, then he was 0 for his next 12.
Taking your calls at 800-795-9565. This is the Steve Jones Show on News Radio 1070 WKOK. Now, from the Sunbury Motors Studio, here's Steve Jones.
Today's show brought to you by Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street in Sunbury, the beverage supermarket. Imports, domestics, microbrews, the best selection of beer anywhere. Wine coolers, water, soft drink, snacks. They roast their peanuts fresh and out every day. 6 great flavors of slushies. And the pickle bar, led by the barrels and the dills. Indeed, second to none. It is all at Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street in Sunbury, the beverage supermarket. And we are in the Sunbury Motors Studio. Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury. Sunbury Motors, Kia, routes 11 and 15, Hummels Wharf. And online at sunburymotors.com. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the King.
Hey, how's it going? How's your golf this week?
Golf? I played Wednesday. I hurt my hand a week ago.
Oh,
no.
Well, no, I was hitting a 6-iron on 13. The ball was above my feet. I was in the fairway. So I was fine. And we had gone through a few days where it hadn't rained, so the ground was hard. And I hit it, and it stuck. And my right hand, which as left-handed, my lead hand, I twisted the middle. You can see the swelling, the middle finger. Now, I did go out and play some on Wednesday night this week. I did get 9 holes in just to see how it goes. It hurt. And I might give it another shot on Monday. How about that?
It'll give it time to heal. You'll be all right.
Yep. So
just baby it a little bit and then get out there. You want me to rehab it for you?
Get the lingerie on the deck. Call the janitor.
With a hammer or what?
Just yank it.
Pop it back in the ear. I'll pop it in for you. Yeah,
Britney Spears got married. Holy cow.
Yeah, there we go. So our invitations were lost in the mail.
That's okay. I would have thrown mine out.
She thinks she got married. She's not quite sure. What else is new? How's the State College baseball team this year?
They're 1-6. They have a new in this league where you're just trying to, like last year games with if at the end of 9 if you were tied, they now have a tiebreaker.
Yep.
And the tiebreaker is they put a runner on first, and one team selects whether they're going to be on defense or on offense. And if you get 3 outs, you win the game. But if the other team scores, they win the game. Well, the Spikes have now been in 2 of those. They lost them both. And one time they were on offense, and one time they were on defense. So I can't tell you which one I'd pick.
I got to say, I don't mind the way the Major Leagues is doing it. Just because the games are so long. You know.
Yeah, they are long. There's no doubt.
That at least it ends quicker, and that's that.
In minor league baseball, I'm for it the way they do it, Kev.
No.
Because you are trying to preserve pitching, right? That's the biggest reason why. You're trying to preserve pitching by shortening the game. And the majors, I think you need to play it out. And the reason I feel that way is, A, it's Major League Baseball, and B, if I use 8 pitchers, I can go to AAA and call up 6.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. I wouldn't want it in the playoffs.
No.
You know? But these, I mean, basketball, hockey, baseball, the season is so long. It's like, I mean, last year's hockey Stanley Cup playoffs were the best ever because they had a shortened season. So the players were, you know, relatively healthy. This year, you can see how beat up they are. So,
but
they are. The playoffs are great. I mean, how shocking are the Rangers? What a young team. They're going to be around for a while.
Well, and now, you know, let's give Tampa Bay credit, because Tampa Bay...
Oh, they're really good, Tampa Bay.
I mean, they're up 3-2, and when the Rangers won the first 2 games of the series, that's the first time in years Tampa Bay had lost back-to-back playoff games. That's how good they are.
Yeah, but they are a tough team. I saw last night's game, and they kind of put an exclamation point on it when they got in like 3 fights at the end of the game, and Tampa Bay won all the fights too. So, it was that. I like that Stamkos guy. He's good. So.
Stamkos has been a great player, great scorer for years. And
I don't see anyone knocking off Colorado.
I agree.
Colorado's fun, and Cale Makar makes a big difference for them. I mean, McKinnon's the star, right? But Cale Makar on defense plays both ends of the ice and has a real feel for it. I mean, my goodness, you know, he played his college hockey up at UMass.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yes, he was the Hobie Baker Award winner up at UMass. In fact,
UMass had some good teams up there over the years. Didn't they get a national championship?
They did. They won a national championship. And, you know, the national championship banner's up in the Mullen Center, but there's also a banner for Cale Makar.
He deserves it. They are fun. They are like a buzzsaw. I mean, they just tore right through Edmonton, and Edmonton's good. You know, they got some players that can change games. They just don't have a goaltender. That Mike Smith is awful.
Yeah, he did not hang in the series. He was a better player. You know, he's a little older now. I thought he was a better goaltender.
38.
Yeah, he was a better goaltender. He had some pretty good years with the Arizona Coyotes.
Yeah.
But at this stage, I said, go to the other guy. Well, I always tell everybody, like, I know you want to go to the other guy, but if you're at practice, you know why they don't go with the other guy. So.
Yeah. Plus, Mike Smith's jacked. Man, they interviewed him one day. I'm like, who's that guy? I didn't know goaltenders were jacked like that. Yeah. He's huge.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, you can't, under all that equipment, who can tell? I mean, my goodness.
Yeah, he's a big dude. That goaltender for the Rangers is real good. So,
yes, Shesterkin is really good. Good player.
But I tell you what, the Rangers had a wide open net and missed to win the game.
Yeah.
They took it down the right wing and passed it over to perfect pass, and his stick wasn't flat on the ice. It was like up on an angle, and the puck went right under his stick. And it was wide. It was an easy goal with like 2 minutes left. And we would have been talking about how the Rangers were up 3-2.
Yeah.
You know, that's the way it goes. That's hockey.
And I didn't get a chance to watch it last night because I was broadcasting baseball. I'm not going to see the Celtics game tonight either with Golden State for the same reason. So I mean, I've got a game at Williamsport tonight, so I'll probably be able to listen to it on the way home for a while.
The Celtic fans are ridiculous. I'm hoping that tonight it comes down to one shot and Green knocks down a three-pointer with 1 second left in the game, and Golden State wins. Just to shut them. Did you see what they did to the players, the Celtic fans?
I didn't, actually.
They spent the entire game chanting, blank you, Green. Blank you, Green. And his kids were in the stands, his wife's there, and they wouldn't stop the whole game. And now they've spent the last 2 days, can't wait for tonight, because they're going to do the same thing to, what's his name? His dad was a player.
Steph Curry?
No, not Steph Curry. Everyone likes Steph Curry. The other, Thompson.
Oh, Klay Thompson, yeah.
Yeah, because Klay Thompson came to his defense, and he called the Boston fans classless.
Well, he's right.
You can't do that when you're in it. And yeah, they are classless.
They're a spoiled, classless fan base.
That's why nobody likes Boston. This is the worst-rated series in the history of the NBA because people hate Boston, and it's mainly their fans. I like the team. The team is good. There's no question they're the best team.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, the team's really good. I can't stand how, stuff like that. There's no need for that.
No.
I mean, if you want,
you can do what you want to do.
I'll give you an example.
When you stop dropping the F-bomb, I mean, come on, grow up.
If you wanted to sit there and go at a player, all you got to do is go Draymond. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's simple. That's his name. There's no profanity. And what the Boston fans did was wrong and sickening, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, that's just.
I agree 100%. I don't.
Just not the way. It's not the way any fan base anywhere should act along the way. And you're right. The Celtics do have a nice team. They're a little more athletic than the Warriors are.
They're bigger.
They're bigger, a little more athletic, but they're also more careless.
They'll throw the ball away.
Yeah, they have to understand the old John Wooden saying, "Be quick, don't hurry," and that's what they need to do. But in terms of the fan base, turn it off. Okay, I'm a big believer. I'm a huge believer, and I've said this for years. What's wrong with going into the game and rooting for your team?
Yep.
What's wrong with
they think by doing that they're helping their team win the game. That the Boston mindset. They're a bunch of, I've been to Yankee games at Yankee Stadium, and that Boston travels well. They bring fans everywhere they go, and they look for fights in the stands. They look for fights, And then the game I was at, you had to take your Yankee-stuck T-shirts off. You either had to take them off or turn them inside out, or they kicked you out of the stadium.
Right.
That's how bad it got.
That's not good. It's not, and again, hey, I think it's wrong. I mean, what's wrong with rooting for your team? Nothing. Right? I mean, so I'm not big in that. I hate that. I did watch that game the other night because it turned out the game was Wednesday night? Yeah. The reason was we had a 10:30 in the morning game. So I had Wednesday, so I played golf, and then I was able to go out, watch the game. And I'm watching it, I'm like, turn it off. Come on.
It went way too far. It was just... And
no kidding. I don't mind
the broadcasters, the radio shows, they're all bragging about it and laughing about it.
No, it's not funny.
Calling them names. It's like, God almighty.
It's not funny, okay?
Look, they don't even care about the game. They care about, they can't wait for tonight so they can do it again.
It's all about clicks and ratings. It's all about, that's what it's about for local shows and what they're doing. And I'm sorry. Stuff like this is wrong. It just... I think it has no place in sports. I don't mind if they want to chant his name. That's fine. But get into the game and get into your team, okay? And, be an influence in the game that way. It's...
Well, is there even a thought that there's children in the stands?
No. You know that. No,
where do you think I learned my first curse words? At an Eagles game. My first Eagles game.
Well,
speaking of the Eagles, there were Eagle fans at Foxborough. This goes probably back 10 years, okay? And it was up in the upper decks, and there were Eagle fans, like 6 of them, sitting below a whole group of rowdy, drunk Patriot fans. I kid you not, they peed on them.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
Yeah, and that's the stuff that Boston fans do. And lo and behold, if like the left fielder for the Red Sox, a Yankee fan threw a ball at him last year, you should have heard them on the radio on that. The Red Sox fans never do anything like that. It's like, oh my God, what games do you go to?
Ask Adam Jones. All right, we'll come back with more in a moment here on News Radio 1070 WKOK.
When car repairs get difficult.
Well, I just don't know. Me neither.
We get good. Sunbury Motors. More than quality new and used cars, Sunbury Motors specializes in complicated auto repair diagnosis. They can handle intricate repairs and even complete auto body with service open Monday through Friday, 7 till 4. And Sunbury Motors has made simple repairs easy. Maintaining your vehicle is necessary. Finding the time to do it is difficult. Welcome to Sunbury Motors Quick Lane. Open 7 till 4, Monday through Friday. Just walk in or call ahead. Relax in their remodeled waiting room with Wi-Fi, beverages, and snacks. While Sunbury Motors factory-trained techs take care of your oil change, tire alignments, brakes, and inspections. Quick Lane, 6:30 to 6, Monday through Friday. Saturday, 6:30 till 2. Sunbury Motors, Ford and Hyundai, North 4th Street, Sunbury. And Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15 in Hummel's Wharf. We take the out of auto repair.
All right, so today's show brought to you by Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street in Sunbury. Time for headlines.
All right, we're going to start today's headlines with some breaking news. We have a trade. Tony La Russa has just exchanged another strikeout for a walk. And he's wondering that's actually, why is that being questioned? Yeah, Tony. You're officially inducted into the Hall of Stinkage. Congratulations. I've been ripping him all show.
He speaks highly of you.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I still can care less about the White Sox, but yeah, I can't ignore stupid. King, let's go to you.
Well, I'm going to go back a week or so, and the Yankee game started at noontime. I was driving in my truck. I was coming back from a job, and it was a Saturday, and I said, oh, good. When I get home, I'm going to watch the Yankee game. I lay down. I put the game on. There is no game. I'm like, where is the game? So I'm looking around. I Google. It said 30-some-odd games this year for the Yankees will be on Apple TV, Paramount, all these that you have to pay for.
Yep, and it's only in New York market only. So tonight is a prime example. They're on Prime Video again tonight.
Yeah,
you have to be in the New York market to even watch it.
That infuriates me.
Me too.
So
it's
my
annoying.
headline is, we have a society now, and me and Steve are turning that corner. You're not, Matt. But the senior citizens today are being cast aside. And an awful lot, I read a whole bunch of comments on it. And it's mainly older people that this is their whole world. They watch their Yankees play. And they say, wait a minute, I'm already paying for the Yes Network. And let me preface this by saying the Yankee Entertainment Sports Network.
Correct.
And I can't watch the Yankees play. You took them off. And, how many people are just going to say, you know what, enough of just trying to make every dollar you can make. Your profits are $5 billion. They need to be $6 billion.
It's interesting. It's interesting because Dave Tremblay, the former manager of the Orioles, who managed them from 2007 to 2010, he's the manager of the Spikes this summer. And Dave and I had a long talk about this last night. Dave's a huge Notre Dame fan.
Yeah.
And he says to me, he says, Steve, I can't believe it. He says, I had to pay to watch Peacock so I could watch a couple of Notre Dame games.
Yep.
He says,
didn't watch last year.
He says, I don't want to do that.
Why? I mean, whose cable bill isn't $200 a month?
Right.
It's like you're paying for all this, and they're taking it away and forcing you to buy other things. And you know, we're living in the worst economy ever, and they don't seem to care, and it really turned me off to the New York Yankees. As much as I love the Yankees, I was like, come on, you have full control over this. Their reasoning is Amazon is a part owner. So they have to give them their due. What, Amazon can't watch it on Yes? I mean, I don't get it. So
no, people are paying enough. They pay enough money to go to games.
Yeah,
they pay enough money.
Line is, you know what? Stick it.
They pay enough money in their cable bills. And,
yeah, but to me, it's the elderly. You know, they don't. With an economy, I live in a retirement village, and these people are all on fixed budgets. You know, so when it's this high and gas is this much, it's coming out of them. They have to decide what they can do and what they can't do, and it's really hard to watch sometimes. And now you take something else away from them, and it's just awful. It's not fair. So.
That's why when I've talked about the Big Ten television deal, I've said over and over again, if you're going to do any streaming, Amazon, whatever it may be, that it better be limited. There's only so much people can look at and feel like they are being gouged. Yeah. And that's a gouging. Okay? That's a gouging.
Because you're already paying for it. You know?
It's right.
Well, I'm paying for the Yes Network. Well, it's part of my package. I don't get it. It's like, I couldn't wait to air my event.
No, you're right, though. You're right. And it's, and you know, there's a triangle. The triangle is, in any sport, players play, owners run and own, and the third part is the fan. If you neglect them and you abuse them, you lose them. And if you lose them, it doesn't matter how good the other two parts of the triangle are.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Oh, well. Welcome to the year 2022.
That's why I have no more cable bill, and I just have a smart TV. I have the basic cable bill, and I have a smart TV, so I got all my apps that I need to do.
Well, it must be a relief for Lisa to have something smart in the house. All right.
Yes, it is.
It's just... You stepped into that one. Come on.
Yes, I know.
Come on. Come on.
Yeah, that was a layup.
I know. It was a layup. All right. Text from Lisa. How accurate could you possibly be? No, I'm just kidding. No. You guys have a great weekend.
You too.
Come on, Draymond Green.
Let's go, Warriors.
With 1 second left and send them all home.
Love it.
Draymond's an interesting guy because I did a few of his games in my career.